WordPress blogs a guide for Begineers. Blogging with WordPress. What is WordPress? You may have heard about WordPress, but you may not know what it actually is or what it offers to you. The one thing you should know is that a blog is one of the most important ways to establish a presence online. Without a blog, you and your business are unlikely to success without spending a great deal of money on advertising. The good news is that is not what you have to do when you use WordPress. In fact, WordPress is free. How does it work? WordPress is a free web-based software program. Anyone can use it if you sign up with the company to do so. There is no cost to doing so, and even though there are some limitations, they are minor. WordPress allows you to build a website or a blog. The original intent of the software developers was to create a way to make it easy to set up a blog. However, this only lasted for a short amount of time as open source contributors helped to make WordPress much more through extensions of its capabilities and to improve what it can offer to the user. Some would call WordPress a content management system, or CMS. This term means that it is a way of organizing content for the web. You can use it to run full-sized websites, use it to run websites packed with media, or just use it as a simple tool that holds a variety of personal data. Because it is so easy to use, and it allows you to easily manipulate the website content you have, WordPress has helped to make setting up a blog easy to do. Further, it has become incredibly simple and inexpensive to start an online business, or even just to set up a blog to talk with your friends with. If you are considering a blog and what it can do for your particular needs, WordPress can and should be an active part of that. The key is to learn how to use it. The more you know about it, the better your chances are of creating a functioning resource that offers countless opportunities for the everyday user and the business user. The good news is that you do not have to have a degree in web design to understand and to use WordPress. And that may be what makes the biggest difference with this product. What to know before you use WordPress once you know that you want to create a WordPress blog. The first step in the process is to visit the company's website and to set up an account with them. Again, most beginners will be fine with a free account. It takes only a few minutes to get this process done. Once you have created your username and selected a password, there are a few more things that you will need to do which will make managing your WordPress blog easy to do. The installation comes after you do these things first. These are the things you will need to do if you already have a website and you plan to get your blog onto that website. Have access to your site and to its directory. This is important because you will need the password information to get into the website. You will also need to have the software for your website, if you have one, readily available to you. You will need to have access to your web server. This usually occurs via shell or with FTP. In either case, you need to have this access. You also need a text editor to be readily available to you. If you plan to install your WordPress blog on a remote server, then you will also need to have an FTP client, which allows you to transfer data from one place to the next securely. Finally, you will need to have a connection to the internet. You select the browser that you wish to use to accomplish this step. What if you do not have this? Take a few minutes to check out your WordPress blog. Specifically, look to see if the blog's information is provided and ensure that your website server or control panel is available to you. If you are not sure if you have access to the above information, it is always best to speak with the company that is hosting your website or to use the tutorials that they provide for you. With so many options available today, it can get a bit complex when it comes to choosing the right information. The good news is that WordPress really does make it easy for the everyday user to get a blog onto their website. For those with a website, Having a blog is critical to success on the web. WordPress allows you to communicate. As a blog, WordPress provides you with the resources that you need to build a strong business. However, one of the things that it offers to you is a way to get two-way communication going on the web. For example, if you sell a product in a standard retail store locally, you invite your guests into your storefront, interact with them, answer their questions, and sell to them. The same is not as easy with a standard website. With a standard website, you cannot have this back-and-forth conversation as easily. A WordPress blog allows you to do that, though. You are able to communicate easily with others through the blog. For example, consider the following scenario. You post a message on your blog about XYZ product that you are now carrying. The blog post is information and provides the reader with the price and the key features of the product. Those who are looking for that product on the web find your blog post about the product. They visit your blog and they read what you have to say there. The reader has a question, though. They want to know about a specific feature of the product that you did not mention in the post. Alternatively, they want to ask you a question to determine if the product is the right fit for them. If they were using a website, they would have to email you, which is more difficult. The reader posts a comment on your blog posts that asks the question that they have. The comment is visible to everyone so that everyone else can benefit from the information. 2. You respond to the comment as soon as you receive an alert from the blog telling you that there is a new comment. You not only answer the question for the reader, but because you were able to do that, they are willing to work with you and they buy the product from you. This is one of the key advantages of having a WordPress blog. You are able to communicate with your readers easily and without having to worry about the overall time constraints that are normally in place. People expect to be able to communicate quickly and easily like this with those who they plan to interact. Comments like this are still in your control. You choose how they work on your blog. Choosing a WordPress blog domain name. When you set out to do well on a blog, one of the first things you will need to make a decision on is what the blog domain name is. In other words, when people want to type in a website address to get to your blog, what will they type? It sounds simple, but if you want to do well online with your blog, this is a critical decision you will need to make. The domain name you select needs to meet specific goals, including providing an explanation of what your website offers. And it may even need to take into consideration keywords. What to consider when choosing a WordPress domain name for your blog? There are several things to think about. One of those things is keywords. Keywords should always be an important role in the domain selection, since it will help you to rank higher in the search engines just by having this information. However, a good keyword name should offer something that is unique, since most of the simplest of keywords are already taken. If you sell appliances, for example, appliance, .com is likely not available or too expensive, so you will need to be creative. In addition to this, you also want to consider branding. That term is no longer something that marketing executives only have to think about. It is something that you do too. Choose something that is catchy, and that will draw in an audience with it. Eventually, you will have your readers familiar with your website and blog so much so that they can easily just type in the information and get there. The combination of domain keywords and branding should help you to find the right choice. In addition to this, remember that the shorter that you keep your domain name, the better off it is, since it is easier for others to remember. However, there are some things to keep in mind here. You can use hyphens if you would like to, but you may lose some search engine ranking points if you do that. The selection of the right domain extension is important too, since .com is one of the best choices in most instances. However, choose what works for your website. Be as creative as you would like to be in creating something that rings true with your readers. Eventually, they will know your name well enough to get there. How to install WordPress. Now that you have determined that WordPress is the tool for you, the next step in the process is to get WordPress from its website over to your website. You will likely want to purchase your own hosting plan for your blog. This way, you have much more flexibility in how you use your WordPress blog, as compared to simply starting a blog on WordPress's website itself. For some personal users, that is not a problem in and of itself. However, the following steps will help to install WordPress on your web server through your hosting plan. First, ensure that you and the host have the minimum requirements to run WordPress. Then, download the latest release of WordPress to your hard drive. You will need to download the file to a folder on your hard drive and then unzip it. You will need to have a secure password that will be your secret key. You will then create a database for WordPress that is located on your web server. You will need to create a MySQL user. This person should have all privileges available so that they can make modifications to the blog at any time. You will then need to rename it from the following wp-config sample, php to wp-config, php. Then open this up in your text editor. You will then need to fill in some basic details here. You will then place these files on the location you wish to on the web server. In most cases, this requires moving or uploading all of the contents of the directory that you have unzipped to this point to the root directory of your web server. You can also move it to a subdirectory if you would like to. Once this is done, run the WordPress installation script. You can do this by going to wp-admin/install php on your browser. Once you have done this, you may be told to reboot, but in short, you should have WordPress up on your web server at this point. The process only takes about 5 to 10 minutes, though it may take a few extra minutes if this is your first time using this type of software and upload method. However, once you have it in place, you can and should start to use it. It only takes a few minutes to navigate to the login page to get started on the process. Installing WordPress on your web server. When it comes to WordPress, everything about the company is fairly easy to do and use. It is free and easy to use once you get it uploaded. However, it is also fairly easy to use in terms of getting the WordPress blog into your site. 2. Installation of software onto web servers can be difficult, especially when it comes to someone who is not familiar with the process at all. However, the good news is that you can often handle this process easily, even without any real skill. Get some help before you worry about installing WordPress on your web server. One of the first things you should do is to find out from your web server if you do, in fact, have tools that make this process easy to do. For example, contact your web host and find out if they offer any tools or resources that allow you to install your WordPress blog for you. One of the most common tools for this is a program called Fantastico. Your web hosting company, depending on which company you are working with, often provides it to you. If you use this program, or something similar to it, you will find that the entire process takes 5 minutes and is simplistic. Do it yourself. On the other hand, many of the various people today are interested in learning how to install WordPress into their web server on their own, without the actual help of using the company's resources or these third-party services. That is okay. It is possible to work through the 5-minute installation process on your own. It takes just a handful of minutes to get the process underway, and it really is simplistic. You will find the instructions available to do this right at the WordPress website, which makes it even easier to get the job done. When it comes to installing your WordPress blog on your website, there are going to be many questions. Before you worry or give up on the process, Keep in mind that the company also offers a wide tutorial section as well as regular help for users. You can even find other users who can answer your questions for you right at the website. It really is that easy to get your blog set up on WordPress. That makes it even easier to get the process started for most businesses or everyday users. What is a WordPress plugin? WordPress plugins are one of the most common resources available to the WordPress user today. In common, that only indicates that they are readily available. Some plugins are free, others are not. The key for the new user is to choose the right plugins for their website, since this makes the most difference in how effective the website will be. The good news is that if you have put your blog onto your own web hosting plan, then you have pretty much complete control over what you use or what you do not use. What is it? The short way to answer this question is to simply say that a plugin is a tool that allows you to do something different or experience something on the website. WordPress is an open source website. This means that anyone can design software or other resources that will work with WordPress and with the blog that you have installed. The good news is that this has allowed for users to find many ways to take a basic theme and to make it their own. Plugins are just options that you have for customizing your website that are already done and readily available to you. Plugins are an important part of WordPress. Users will find that there are dozens of them to choose from, though. Many of them offer similar goals and functions, which means that you do not usually need to use all of them. In fact, you do not want to use all of them. However, you will want to sort through all of the options you have to choose plugins that can add a benefit to your website for you. Virtually all website owners will find some of these plugins to be helpful to them. To get the plugins, you will want to visit the plugins directory that is located at WordPress. When you log into your administration panel, you will find some of these plugins readily available to you on the site. This is not all of them, but it is some of the most popular choices. To install them, you just need to click on them and follow some basic instructions. Of course, each one is quite unique in how it works and how it is installed. Nevertheless, they are all fairly easy to use. Further, you can upload them manually if you like by uploading them to the /wp content /plugins /directory. WP Supercache plug-in and WordPress. When you get your WordPress blog up, one of the first things you will focus on, most likely, is building a following. The goal is to always build traffic to your website's blog. The only way that you can accomplish that is to get people to your website and to impress them with what you have to offer. The biggest problem is, though, that you may find that the blog crashes whenever you get sizable numbers of people into the blog. It is not easy to understand, but sometimes you can have too many people at your site. However, one way to reduce this problem is through using a WordPress plug, and that is called WP Supercache plug. What is it? WP Supercache provides you with some help for visitors. It makes a copy of your web page on the server. This way, when people go to the website, they do not have to load the website page again. By doing this, it increases how fast the page loads. It also helps to reduce the amount of resources that are being used by each of the visitors to the website. This simply means that there are more people that can come to your website without you having to worry about your website failing. Your blog needs to have some type of plug in that can manage this for you, and WP Supercache seems to be one of the best currently available. When will you need to use a tool like this? Imagine that you write a great website post. You put it up, and people start to pass along the link to others so that they can read it. It is, after all, a great post and needs to be shared. Perhaps it even makes it on the front page of one of the social media websites like Dig.com. When that post is this popular, You will have many more people coming to your blog than you did before, all to read what you wrote. Since your goal is to increase traffic, you want to be sure that those people have a good visit when they come so that you can consistently get them to come back. With a tool like this, the visitors do not have to wait around for the page to load, and the blog will not crash on the server either, which keeps visitors on the site. Web hosting for your WordPress blog. Have you thought about how you will get your WordPress blog on the internet? Web hosting is necessary for anyone running any type of website. You can work with numerous companies out there. Some offer cheap web hosting services with long-term commitments, while others offer shorter-term solutions. To run WordPress, you will need to get the right type of web hosting for your blog. After all, this is the connection your blog will have to other visitors on the web. What does WordPress require? WordPress is quite easy to get along with. It is a very lightweight script, which means that it works with most types of web hosting solutions. However, WordPress does have some specific requirements. You need PHP 4.3 or greater. You also need MySQL 4.0 or greater. You also need the mod Rewrite Apache module. Luckily, these are not hard to find, and most Linux web hosts will even come with these features already pre-installed with WordPress, making it even easier for you to get on the web. Chose the right company. There are a few things to remember about choosing the right WordPress company, though. You want to choose a company that offers the right type of server. You do not need a dedicated server for WordPress. However, you will want to consider shared hosting in most cases, since it gives you unlimited resources for your blog. You also want to consider the company and its reputation. Do some research and compare companies to each other. Do not just look at the prices, since this can effectively hold you back when you need it. Compare plans. How much space do you need? Most WordPress blogs do not require 100 MB of space. However, if you plan to allow visitors to your blog to download something, or you will be hosting images that need more space, consider going with more than this. Of course, you also want to consider the scripts and the overall options you have for your website based on what you plan to do with your blog. When you factor all of this in, you will find several things. First, you will see that finding an option is easy. Second, web hosting is inexpensive. Take the time to choose the right company to work with to ensure that you get the type of response that you want to have. Multiple users and WordPress. The owner of a WordPress blog is the administrator of it. Although this name may sound a bit overwhelming, it only means that you have ultimate control over the blog. Why does this matter? When you set up a WordPress blog, one of the things that you can do is to set up multiple users on the blog. For example, you are the owner of the blog, but you want to hire someone to help you to write posts for your blog. Therefore, you set up a second user on the account. Why do this? When you set up multiple users on a WordPress blog, you determine what you want each of those users to have access to. For example, you may not want your users to have access to changing the format of the blog, or to changing the AdSense or advertising features of the blog. The good news is that you can limit access to any user of the website as you would like to. The administrator of the blog remains in control of the entire thing, though, which gives you the constant ability to make changes to the blog as you see fit. In order to set up multiple users of WordPress, all you need to do is to log into your WordPress blog after you have initially set up an account with the company. Then, you can navigate to the section that allows you to set up another user. You then choose which features of the blog design and interface that user will be able to have. You can do this for numerous people if you would like to. Through a simply password and username setup, you have protected your blog and still have numerous users on it. How it works: when you create multiple users with your WordPress blog, you will be able to give them the access to the website that they need. Since the software for WordPress is an internet-based program, that user can use the software and have access to your website from any place that there is an internet connection. In other words, you do not have to be located together to use this type of setup. As you can see, this ability provides individuals with even more power and flexibility. Take the time that you need to develop the type of relationship that you need and build your blog how you would like to. WordPress themes. There are many reasons to set up your blog as a WordPress blog. The facts that it is easy to use and free are two of those reasons. However, most do not realize that there is also the benefit of WordPress themes. Themes are one of the best ways for you to establish your first blog because they make your blog attractive, easy to use, and do so without the hassle of web design. WordPress bases their websites on themes. However, what does that mean to you? What are themes? WordPress themes are comprised of images. They also have cascading style sheet web page layouts, also known as CSS. This may sound like a web design class right now, but the benefit of this is quite simple. Because of this design, it makes it very easy for everyday users to customize their websites to achieve the goals and looks that they want it to have. You can customize the WordPress layout to match your own needs or to show off your own talent if you would like to. When you first sign up for a WordPress blog, you will be able to browse through the hundreds, if not thousands of WordPress themes already available on the website. These pre-existing themes make it very easy for the everyday user to get started, but they are not necessarily your own choice. In other words, you are able to customize them to fit your need or even install your own or a third-party theme if you would like to. You can create a new page layout in Photoshop, for example, or any of the other software programs available if you would like to, and then upload those to the WordPress blog that you are using. However, if you do not want to do this, and you want to get on the web right away, WordPress makes it easy for you to do that too. You can easily choose one of the company's WordPress themes, upload it to your blog through a simply process, and then customize as you would like to. You may just want to put your business's name on the page or change the color layout. What you will find out about WordPress is that each step of the process of creating a website is easy to do. It is also high flexible to ensure that you are always able to tailor your website to fit your needs. WordPress or your own server. When you first sign up to work with WordPress, one of the first things you will notice is that you have two options. You can sign up for a blog that is at WordPress.com, or you can sign up for your own web hosting plan and get WordPress software from their website to your own. Which one is the right option for you? This really depends on what you wish to accomplish on your WordPress blog, as well as what amount of resources you plan to use. In short, the more control that you want to have over your blog, the more likely it is that you will need to use your own WordPress web hosting rather than going with just the site itself. WordPress.com, a free version of WordPress.com, is available to anyone that goes to the website, signs up for a blog, chooses a template, and gets started writing blog posts. In short, that is all there is to it. However, there are many limitations on this type of setup. For example, these blogs are not the right option for those who are looking for a business blog. You are unable to place advertising on the blog. You are unable to actually do much of anything else except for writing your own posts. So, who is a WordPress.com blog for? Those who are considering updating friends and family as to what they are doing will benefit the most from this particular type of blog. In short, your own server. On the other hand, you may want to have more control over your website and over your blog. If this is the case, then you likely want to consider what having your own web hosting will do for you. Your own web hosting offers you numerous additional benefits that having a blog at the website just will not offer to you. For example, you can advertise your business. You can have a business blog that generates income for yourself. You have the freedom to make changes and customizations that the other option does not give to you. Making the decision as to what type of WordPress hosting you will use is a big one. However, it is important to note that even if you do decide to get your own website hosting, chances are good that you will not pay a whole lot for the process, since web hosting is inexpensive and readily available. WordPress database backup do you need? WordPress database backup is one of the plugins that you want to have for your website. This tool provides you with a number of key benefits, but most importantly, it helps to protect anything that you place on your blog. If you have ever written something on a computer, or you have ever developed something on a computer, and then the power goes off and it all disappears, you are sure to know the suffering and struggle that you will experience when your WordPress blog disappears. Of course, this may never happen, and hopefully it will not do so. However, you can avoid the dire consequence of starting over by having a few resources to help you. The WordPress database backup protects your blog from this type of crash. In short, it allows you to back up your data on your blog at any time that you want to. It takes this data that it backs up however you would like to. The main options are to send that date to your email address so that you can download it to your computer, or it will send that information to a secure location on your server. Whichever option works best for you in particular. One of the nice features about WordPress database backup is that you can set this plugin up so that it will automatically handle these backups so that you do not have to think about it. This way, if you forget or do not have time to get to the process of backing up data, it does it for you. Of course, you can choose how often you want it to do so. Most of the time, backing up every few days is enough, but if your blog grows substantially, you may want to do this more often. If something does go wrong and your blog crashes or the data is lost from it, WordPress database backup has likely saved that information for you at some time in the recent past, if you have set up this plugin to work. Best of all, once you get it activated on your blog, you really just need to choose the right dates for the post and forget about it. It will do all of the work for you, without having to be turned on and activated after that point. It works in the background to protect your system. What is the best theme for your WordPress blog? When it comes to building a successful WordPress blog, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that the right theme for your website should be selected. The theme of your blog is the look and function of your blog that others will see when they visit your website. A theme can be anything that you want it to be, of course, but it should fit some specific elements if you hope for your blog to be successful. Consider the following aspects when it comes to choosing the right WordPress theme for your blog. 1. Pick a theme that somehow relates to your website's industry. This is perhaps the most important element. If your theme does not relate well, your visitors will be confused as soon as they visit your blog. If you have a cooking-themed website, go with some type of theme related to that, for example. 2. When it comes to choosing the right theme, one thing you should not overlook is the benefit that comes from simplicity of design. You want to be sure that your website works well for the user, who will, after all, interact with you through that website. The best route to take to accomplish this is to choose a theme that is simple in its design. It should be easy to use and should not have so many graphics that takes away from the real content of the blog. 3. When selecting your theme, you also need to check to ensure that the theme is compatible with the browser that you like to use. It is best to choose a theme that actually does well with all browsers, since this ultimately makes the difference in the success that you will have. Consider your user. Finally, before you choose any theme for your WordPress blog, it is important for you to take into consideration the actual terms of service for that theme. This should be provided with you. Ensure that you know the rules of using the theme that someone else has created, after all, before you put it on your website. With the right WordPress theme in place, your blog will perform just like you want it to. Best of all, it gives you the ability to impress your guests and to make the most of every visitors that comes to your website. That is critical to success on the web. Tips for marketing your WordPress blog. When you take the time to build a WordPress blog, you know that it will be a labor of love. However, no matter how great the content of that blog is, and no matter what type of great posts you have, unless there are plenty of people to read it, you have wasted at least some of your time putting it together. The good news is that there are ways for you to promote what you have posted so that everyone can see it and interact with it. The following are some simple ways for you to build a success WordPress blog. Keep in mind that the more that you do to make it successful, the better off you will be when it comes to getting traffic to your WordPress blog. Use search engine optimization in your blog posts so that search engines can easily find and rank your blog. Promote your blog through your Facebook account or other social media sites that you are a member. This helps to broaden the strength of your blog, and it will help improve the overall quality of your blog content. 2. Focus on marketing your blog to the right people. For example, if you are building a work-at-home business, then you want to network and market towards others who you think are also looking for a way to work from home. Targeted marketing works well. Do focus on attraction marketing methods that lure people to you rather than focusing on advertising your business to others. You want people to be interested in what you have to say before they even come to your website. Know that your WordPress blog can have offline marketing, too. Although most of the time you spend will likely be in online methods of marketing your website, you can print business cards, attach your blog's address to your flyers, and place it on your signage for your local building. In fact, the combination of methods is ideal. When you do these things, you are able to create a strong blog network where you are consistently building success into your business. Market your blog in a number of different ways so that you can reach out to the most people possible. Ultimately, that will make the most difference in the success of your business and of your blog as well. Updating your WordPress blog. There are many ways that you can use your WordPress blog, but one of the nice features about it is that you can update your blog at any time. This is one of the things that helps a blog to stand out from a traditional website. With a blog, you are able to create content based on anything you would like to, and you can continuously update your pages so that there is always something new for your readers to read. Why update regularly? The question that many people ask is why you need to or should want to update your blog on such a regular basis. Consider these reasons. 1. One of the biggest reasons to update your content on a regular basis is that it keeps your readers informed. If you went back to the website you visited yesterday today, it is unlikely that you would actually find something new. However, with a blog, the reader always gets something new to read. 2. One of the things that is necessary to get readers is to get listed in the search engines high enough on their ranking pages so that you end up attracting those who are looking for what your blog has to offer. Google, the largest of the search engines, sees regularly new content on blogs as a good thing and ranks blogs higher when they have it. 3. You keep your readers up to date on what is happening within your business. You can use blog posts to educate your readers. You can use them to help your readers to build knowledge or to learn about what is happening within your business. There are endless opportunities to educate your readers or inform them with regular content. The good news is that you are in control of your WordPress blog. You do not have to put up a new post every day if you do not want to do so. You do not have to put up a post this week if you do not want to, though it is a recommendation that you post every few days for the best results. You can also dictate what those posts actually say, too. That makes all of the difference when it comes to managing your own blog. It is a communication medium that you can take full advantage of in a way that works properly for you and your business needs. All-in-one SEO and WordPress blogs. When you are considering the WordPress plugins that you should be using for your blog, one that you may want to focus on is called All-in-one SEO, for those who want to rank in the search engines, which is something that everyone wants to do if they hope to have traffic to their blog. This is one of the plugins you definitely want to take advantage of. There are varieties of benefits that come from using this plugin, but in short, it allows you to enter the necessary data for each of your blog posts so that the search engines can rank each of those posts and your blog properly. What can it do? There are a variety of things that all-in-one SEO can do for your WordPress blog. It all starts with having a solid understanding of the features of it. Check out the following. For example, it offers advanced canonical URLs to help with search engine optimization. It has a built-in API, which means that any other plug-in or theme that you may use will be able to work with this plugin. Further, this helps to improve the functionality of the blog. This particular blog plugin is the only one like it to provide search engine optimization for WordPress e-commerce websites. It will automatically optimize each of the titles you select for the search engines to ensure that they are helping your website to rank well. It also helps you by generating meta tags for your website automatically. If you did not have this, you would need to learn a bit of HTML code so that you would be able to write these effectively. There is no need to really mess with it. In other words, the plugin just gets uploaded and activated, and it is immediately working for you. You just need to fill in the boxes it requests, and it does virtually all of the other work for you in the process. If you are considering how you will optimize your WordPress blog for the web search engines, all-in-one SEO is one of the plug-ins to have on your blog. It will keep the process simple and makes SEO something that you do not have to think about or worry about for each of the posts you write. How to publish your WordPress blog. Once you have taken the time to set up your WordPress blog, you need to get your messages out to the world. What you may realize is that WordPress's administration panel is very easy to use. To create a new blog post, simply head to the area that says Post a New Message. Then, you can write all you want into the blocks listed on the page. Once that is done, though, what else do you need to do? There are a few more details to publishing your WordPress blog. Keep the following in mind as you go to publish your blog post. Determine if you want your blog to be visible to anyone, or if you want there to be limitations on your blog and who can reach it. If you want the search engines to get to it, like Google and others, then you do want your blog to be visible to everyone. Once your blog post publishes, you need to take into consideration how people will find it. Use websites like Twitter and Facebook to help you to build attention to your WordPress blog. To do that, you will need to join these websites and start interacting with other users. Use links to your blog post in all of the communications you do. For example, if you are sending emails out to people, place a link in the signature line of the email so that people can visit it. Publish links on forums that you visit. The key is to get that link out so that as many people as possible can find it. Once you have your WordPress blog in place and you are actively promoting it, there are many things you can do to get visitors. However, Once they get to your website, you need to keep them interested. You can do this by simply providing a wide range of information to individuals when they visit. Communicate with them on the website through comments. Listen to their questions. Write blog posts that are interesting and based on what your readers want to learn. The more work you do to create a website packed with information and resources, you want your blog to be one that people want to bookmark so that they can come back to it repeatedly. That makes it successful for you and your business. Subscribing readers on your WordPress blog. The ability to communicate using your WordPress blog is one of the many features of this type of website tool. You can easily communicate your message to all of your readers, and they can even interact with you through comments made on the blog post that you write and post on the web. However, the biggest hang-up in this process is getting the reader to the blog so that they can read what you have written. That can make it difficult for anyone to communicate a message after all. However, WordPress has a solution to this too. RSS. One of the things that every WordPress blog owner should do is to communicate with their blog readers through an automatic feed. In other words, you can set it up so that your blog is able to send a message to the reader's email box or their reader whenever you post a new blog post to your website. How would this benefit you? When you set up this form of communication, you publish a new post, and a message goes to the reader's email that you did so. Sometimes it can go to a reader service, which they subscribe. The reader gets to read the whole post or just a fraction of it. Then, as long as you have written an interesting post, they get to come back to your website to finish reading what you have written. This gets them back to your website. If you post a message about a special your company is running, you would have to wait much longer for people to see it if you did not use this type of reading tool for your blog. In fact, your special would not bring people in. It would simply reduce the cost to those who are already at your website, which is not going to help you. There are many ways to communicate using the web, but when you have a website or a blog, the goal is to make it as simple as possible to get your readers paying attention. That is the only way that you can be sure that your readers are going to be able to interact with you the way that you want them to. This reader function, called RSS, is easy enough to install, and it only takes a few minutes to get your readers to sign up for it. WordPress and Akismet, one of the plugins that WordPress automatically downloads to your blog when you install a theme, is called Akismet. You will need to get an API key to activate it, but this is one plugin that is already installed when you install WordPress on your web host. What is it? Do you need it? Is it the best option for you? Take a few minutes to learn about this product and what it can offer to you. The goal of Akismet is to protect you from spam. Spam is rampant on the web, and your blog is likely to become a target unless you take some actions to help protect it. This product, called Automatic Kismet, or Akismet for short, allows you to stop some types of that spam, especially trackback spam and comment spam. It is a great tool to have on your blog because it will stop people from posting comments on your blog that are spam. For example, if you put up a blog post, the last thing that you want to happen is for that blog post littered with comments that are profane, advertisements, or just ridiculous. That is where this product comes into play. If you want to allow your users to communicate with you through your blog posts in the comments section, then you will need to use a tool that will help you to stop it. Otherwise, you would have to spend countless hours going back to each of your blog posts, reading the comments, and deleting those that you do not want to show up. That is time reducing, especially when you could be using that time to write a new blog post. Akismet is free for those who are personal users. For those who are making more than $500 per month from their blog, it is necessary to get a commercial API key from the company before you can use the plug-in on your WordPress blog. However, the good news is that it is affordable to do that. Most people will find that this is one of the plug-ins that you do want for your WordPress blog. It works in the background for you most of the time, so you do not have to worry about learning something complex. However, it is highly effective for users. You can learn more about it by visiting the company's website. Marketing your WordPress blog with Twitter. If you have not yet heard, Twitter is one of the most effective communication tools on the web today. Twitter allows you to communicate short messages with others who are talking to you or who are following you on the website. Twitter is free to use. It allows you to send very short messages of no more than 140 characters out into the internet world for all to read. However, this small, simple, micro-blogging tool offers much more to the average user. How to use Twitter. If you have a WordPress blog, you can use Twitter to help you to market that blog. The process is actually very easy to use. All you need to do is to log into the Twitter website, post a message to your followers, and include a link to your WordPress blog as well. That is it. The rest is done for you. However, there are a few more things you need to do to learn how to effectively get the most out of Twitter for marketing. 1. Before you even mention your website, work to build up a following of people on Twitter who are interested in you. Communicate with them and get to know them. You want them to look forward to reading what you have to say. 2. Write effective, interesting, and unique posts for your WordPress blog. You want to give them something that is interesting and unique to read so that they want to read it. The goal you have is to get people to your website, but then to keep them coming back after all. 3. Once you have a great new post on your blog, head over to Twitter and let others know about it. Be sure to include catchy information to encourage them to get to your blog. You do not want to try selling to people through your messages. However, the biggest problem people have when it comes to using Twitter as a marketing tool is that they do not keep up the personal side of the process with the reader. In other words, you want to keep interacting with other users in such a way as to really develop your business properly. You do not want to just throw out a bunch of URLs and wait for the traffic to come in. Interact with others on the Twitter platform so that they want to read what you wrote. How to install a theme on WordPress. Take the time to consider carefully which theme you plan to install on your WordPress blog. Now that you know which one it is, the next step in using it is installing it onto your blog. The good news is that this process is easy enough to do, just like anything else that WordPress offers to its users. The following instructions will help you to get your theme installed and running quickly. The first thing you need to do is to download the theme files. No matter where you get the theme from, they will likely be zipped into files. You will need to download those to your computer from the website that is providing them. Then, you will need to unzip the files from that zip to make them usable to you. Once you have done that, the next step in the process is to simply upload them to your blog. You will need to upload them to the /wp content /themes /directory, which is easily found on your blog. If you have made it this far, you have made it most of the way. The next step in getting your chosen theme up on your WordPress blog is to activate the theme. This occurs by logging into your WordPress blog's administration panel. When you log into it, you will see that the Appearances tab is located along the left-hand side. Click on this and then follow the link to the Themes section. If you have uploaded your theme properly, then it will have a listing here along with others. If not, try to upload it again, following the directions provided. Activating the theme often takes only minutes to do. Once it is activated, you can then log into your blog and see the theme live on your website. You may want to check to ensure it looks the way that you want to. If you have had any difficulty in uploading the theme, or you have had problems with the actual function of the theme, you will need to contact the location you got the theme from. They may offer some troubleshooting help for you. Taking the time to structure your blog the way that you want to will help to create a personality for it. Try to keep your theme the same as much as possible, as this ensures that others will recognize your blog when they come to it. WordPress blogs and keywords. In order to have people reading what you are writing on your website, you really do need to incorporate the use of keywords. Keywords are the words that people type into the search engines when they want to find something. For example, if you were looking to purchase a new tool, you would likely type that tool's name into the search box to find it. The key is to learn what the keywords are for the topic of your blog. And once you know them, you need to learn how to use them. What are the keywords? When writing any and all of your blog posts, keep in mind the importance of using words that you believe people are typing into search engines to find websites like your own. However, if you are not sure what these words are, there are some tools available online that can help you to find out. Just check out Google's keyword tools, for example. You just plug in the words that relate to your website, and it will tell you what words people are using to get to websites like your own. It really is that simple to use. Other tools available are free to use that offer the same type of benefit. How to use them. Once you know what the keywords for your website are, the next step in the process is to use them properly. Here are some tips to make this process easier. Use the keyword in the first 90 characters of each of your blog posts. This shows its importance. Use the keyword in the title and metadata of each of the posts. Even when you are filling in an all-in-one SEO pack, use the keywords. Use the keyword in the last few lines of the blog posts as well. Use keywords in the rest of the blog posts, but do not overdo it. It is best to focus on no more than 1 to 2% density of the keyword. One of the biggest mistakes you can make, however, is overusing keywords in the posts. You want to be sure that the readers who come to your website are getting quality information first. That ultimately will make the biggest difference in how well your website performs for you, since your goal is to get them to the site and then to keep them coming back. WordPress empowers everyone. There are many benefits to using WordPress as your choice for online blog creation. One of the things that have really helped to set this company's product apart from others is that anyone can use it. In short, just about anyone can create and then edit new web pages and the blog's posts as they would like to. There is no expensive software program to purchase to do this with. There is no need to turn to a company to handle the website design unless you decide that you would like to do this. All you need is the web browser to handle this. HTML needed. One of the things that has scared many business owners and everyday users of the web away from developing their own websites is that it can be very hard to understand HTML, which is a language of website development. However, this is not necessary if you are using a WordPress blog for your blog creation. You do not need to know any type of code to be able to create a WordPress blog. That in itself allows anyone to be able to create a website as they would like to. Further, you can go into your blog at any time and edit it easily. The WordPress editing interface is easy to use, often requiring only clicks of the mouse. If you are familiar with any of the word processing software programs, including those that you would type a letter in, then you likely have the knowledge necessary to create a WordPress blog and to edit it. When you first sign up for a WordPress blog, you will find that all you have to do is to answer a few basic questions. The way that you navigate around from page to page on the internet right now is similar to how you will navigate through your WordPress interface. Clicking on links takes you to pages you need to be on. It takes only a few minutes to get the entire blog up and running. In fact, even by those who have limited to no knowledge of how to build a website. WordPress allows anyone to have a blog. That means that there is really no reason that you do not have one. Keep in mind that WordPress is a resource that allows you to build the type of blog that you want. Therefore, you can always add more to it than the basics. WordPress and contact form 7. One of the goals of having a WordPress blog is to make communication easy between those who visit your website and you. However, it is not always as easy as that. It is important for users to focus on tools that make communication simplistic, since those who have a lot of traffic to their blog will get a lot of communication. There are some plugins that WordPress offers, or that third parties offer, that work well at providing you with resources to improve communication. Perhaps one of the best ones for this is Contact Form 7. The name really does provide you with everything you need to know about it. Contact Form 7 is what? For those that do not know, a contact form is that little box that you fill out when you visit a website or a blog, and you want to send a message to the owner of it. For example, you may want to let the owner of the blog know about your website in the hopes of working together. The good news is that it is easy to get a contact form on your blog, and once it is in place, it is easy to use. WordPress offers Contact Form 7 to help you with this process. In short, it provides you with a range of features that you need and want to use. Some of those features are listed below. Contact Form 7 is able to manage multiple contact forms. You can use it to customize the form that you place on your website to ensure that you are gathering the information that you need to make communication effective. Contact Form 7 is able to work with numerous languages. In fact, it will translate those languages for you so that you can effectively communicate with people around the world. Do you need a contact form? Most WordPress users have a goal in mind for their website. They want to be able to communicate with their clients in some way. A contact form is one of the simplest of tools for that communication. All you need to do is to activate it in the plugins on the WordPress admin panel. Then, when someone sends you a message through the contact form, it is sent directly to your email or through the setup that you have managed. You can customize it and place it anywhere on your website that you would like to.